Hi everyone, it's Lourdes. I often get asked, why do crystals break? Well, crystals break for a variety of reasons. First of all, it's just pure accidents. You may drop one and there's no other reason for it, just it was an accident. Sometimes they take in too much energy. So if you're wearing a crystal constantly and not cleaning it, there's a better chance of it breaking, cracking, fracturing, or even fading in color. Another thing that happens is sometimes atmospheric pressure. And people are saying, what? Yeah. Well, it can happen. If there's big changes in the atmosphere, it can cause a little break that was in the crystal, a little fracture, to grow bigger, and eventually it'll break off. Another thing that happens, and it doesn't happen often, but sometimes it does, a crystal breaks because it wants to separate. It may just want to be two different crystals. So when that happens, you're really blessed, because now you have two pieces of the crystals where you had one, and these crystal pieces are happier because they're separated. What do you do with them? Well, when you have a crystal that breaks, I always use my intuition to check, does it want to go back together with the other piece? And the reason you check is, like I mentioned before, sometimes they want to be separated and don't want to be together. So if the crystal doesn't want to be together with the other one, just use them as two separate crystals. If the crystal feels to you like it wants to go back to the other one, then you try doing a dab of glue. A lot of people use something like Elmer's glue, which is water soluble, so that if at another point you want to separate them, or they feel they want to be separated, you can do that. I use my intuition, but you can also use a pendulum to check what the crystal wants to do. Now let's say it doesn't feel good. It broke and it doesn't feel like it wants to go together. It doesn't feel like it wants to be separate. What you can do then is use a crystal in different ways. First of all, I always put them to heal. And to heal means, to me, putting them first out in sunlight, or sometimes you have to bury them in dirt. I'll take them, wrap them in a cloth, and I have a bowl of dirt where I don't put water that I will bury the crystals in. And usually I leave that for a month. And if you're putting a crystal in sunlight, in moonlight, I would do that for at least a month too, because they're going to need the energy. Then after that, I like to place them on an amethyst cluster. If not amethyst cluster, a clear quartz cluster, maybe even a rose quartz clusters. Those are rare, but they do exist, to see how they feel then. And I would leave them there for another month. So now we're talking 2 months. After that, test them to see how they feel. Do they feel good to you? If they feel good, then you could use them like you would a regular crystal. You can use them in body layouts. You could use them for grids. You can use them in bags, little spirit bags where you put in an intention or goal. Or you can even put them in a box with your intention or goal. So there's a lot of things you can do with them. It's just up to you what you perceive from the crystal. So for example, I have a bowl of crystals here, and these are all broken. What I did was I put these all out in moonlight. I bought them broken, and I knew what I was getting. And these crystals, although I've used a couple of them in grids, most of them just like being together. And they're happy being in a container together, and I keep them in my room. So sometimes you can group them together if it feels right. Always check intuition. If you're not sure, use a pendulum and check to see how it feels, what it wants to do, does it want to be together, and then move forward from there. Just a reminder, if you have a crystal that you're putting in the dirt, always make sure it's dry dirt in a bowl, no water, no plant. The reason being, some crystals will actually melt or dissolve in water, so you definitely don't want to do it. Something like a selenite or a calcite. So please be careful what crystals you're putting in dirt, especially if it's a dirt with plant. So if you have any questions, please let me know. I look forward to answering them. Thank you for watching this video. For more information on Reikis, my videos, or my sessions, please check out the information in the description box. Or you can go to my website, www.RestRelaxationReiki.com. In the description box, you'll find information about my social media pages. For example, information on Instagram, the pictures that I have there that are infused with Reiki. Facebook, which has anything from readings to crystals to infused photos and these videos. Tumblr, who has the same thing as Facebook. And Pinterest, which has other pictures. So if you're interested in Reiki and want to find out more, check out the description box or post a comment in the comment section. Thank you very much.